Hello friends, I am Anushri Nagpal from the Department of Geography, Jamia Millia Islamia. Today we will learn about the incident response system which comes under the paper Disaster Management. Learning objectives of this particular module are: first, to understand the concept of incident response system; second, to understand the structure of incident response system of India; third, to understand the incident response system in context of disaster management; fourth, to understand the role and responsibilities of different stakeholders. Introduction. The management of disasters is divided in multiple phases to compartmentalize the concepts and practices for better understanding. Some of these phases include preparedness, mitigation, response, relief and recovery. The response phase involves taking measures to reduce or minimize the impact of striking disasters or those which have already occurred. These measures include but are not limited to search and rescue operations, minimizing loss of lives, injuries and damage to property and environment during and immediately after an event, resource management, etc. The response to any disaster begins as soon as the impending hazard event is recognized by the authority, that is designated government agency. The US concept of Incident Command System or ICS and its Indianized version Incident Response System or IRS has been recognized globally as one of the effective response system to be applied after the occurrence of any disaster. Both the terms Incident Response System or IRS and Incident Command System or ICS are used interchangeably. In the Indian context, IRS is now officially inducted to be a part of disaster response and is widely used across the country in dealing with varied kinds of disaster situations. IRS in India is specifically designed to be a model tool for command, control and coordination of the entire response phase. It provides important means to coordinate the efforts of individual agencies as they work towards the common goal of stabilizing the incident and protecting life, property and the environment. Unity of command, common terminology, flexible and modular organization and defined span of control are some of the principal elements associated with the incident response system. National Disaster Management Authority (NDMA), the apex level policy planning body in the Government of India, defines incident response system as the combination of facilities, equipment, personnel, procedure and communications operating within a common organizational structure with responsibility for the management of assigned resources effectively to accomplish stated objectives pertaining to an incident. IRS clarifies command, assigns responsibilities, provides for collaboration among responders, including mutual aid providers. It is scalable, provides for the in-the-moment allocation of scarce resources, and has overall flexibility. It is a modular system based on a command and control approach that also devolves decision-making to local levels as much as possible, and activates only those elements that are needed to deal with the crisis. It develops standard framework and common language for all participating agencies to overcome integration problems in IRS and brings them on common platform. While adapting any situation to gain maximum output, it needs certain degree of familiarity among the agencies which are coordinating and are part of the incident response system. We can conclude that Incident Response System or IRS is very useful model to respond to any emergency or disaster situation. The primary intention of IRS is to transform confusion of early hours of emergency situation into a well-managed response process by providing answers to questions such as who's in charge and what's my job. Thus, IRS is an effective set of principles for coordinating the activities of well-trained and integrated communities of first responders where social and cultural emergence is at lowest level. It can be considered as a rationalistic response to the pressure created by a crisis situation which allows decision makers to make fast decisions and deciding on specific response strategies. IRS can be best be utilized by setting a framework within which different sections can work on a common principle and towards a unified objective, that is, to minimize the impact of event, that is disaster. Incident response system brings together different government departments and voluntary organizations on common platform to formulate effective response. Government of India introduced Incident Response System guidelines in 2010. This is based on Incident Command System developed and evolved for firefighting incidences in California. Evolution of Incident Command System, USA. The Incident Command System developed and evolved conceptually as well as practically in the states of California, United States of America. In the decade of 1970, the wildfire problem in California became a major cause of concern. In the late September, a series of devastating wildfires completely broke down the state's wildfire protection system. The increased severity of wildfires resulted in very fragmented and inadequate response from firefighting department of the state. This was mainly attributed to the large number of agencies involved, each having its own jurisdictional mandate. This resulted in a stovepipe management mentality in which each jurisdictional unit had its own vertical structure of policies and protocols, communication and feedback. To address this issue, 7 cooperating firefighting agencies came together and Fire Scope program was initiated. This initiative resulted in the development of improved procedures for utilizing and coordinating firefighting resources. This eventually led to the development of Incident Command System or ICS. The fundamental notion underlying this was the fire problems and potential solutions must be addressed as single entity consisting of the sum of all subsystems and their interrelationships. Slowly, the ICS gained the acceptance in the Emergency Response Management and was later adopted by Federal Emergency Management Agency FEMA, which later came out with the training module on ICS in 1983. Characteristics of IRS. Noted author Cole states that ICS allows management of the underlying structures of crisis at 2 primary levels, conceptual and operational. At the conceptual level, it represents an acknowledgement that complex crisis usually transcends jurisdictional and financial boundaries and thus can best be addressed systematically. At the operational level, this translates to a coordinated approach to crisis by all responding entities utilizing a pre-arranged system of constituent principles that are consistent from one incident to another, regardless of type, geography, or jurisdictional involvement. This characteristically reflects the essence of Incident Command System or ICS or its transformation into Incident Response System or IRS. IRS is a disaster management tool based on a series of rational bureaucratic principles similar to those discussed in organizational studies as classical management theories. IRS provides a set of rules and practices to guide the actions of the various organizations responding to disaster and create the necessary division of labor and coordination mechanism among them. IRS is specifically designed for the incorporation of multiple internal and external resources into a response network. It provides standardized job profiles with training modules of the concerned jobs, common terminology for equipment and supplies, a structured chain of command from ground personnel to the incident commander with unity of command underscored and every person reporting to one boss, well-defined authority entrusted with the responsibility to control response. IRS assigns tasks to the person most qualified for the assignment irrespective of his or her rank in the organization, dividing works to ensure efficiency, effectiveness and safety. The size and complexity of IRS depends on the size and complexity of disaster or emergency incident to which it is applied so that IRS can be upscaled or downscaled effectively. Structure of the IRS. A typical IRS has 2 command staff and general staff which comprises of different sets of responsibilities and tasks. An incident commander IC with deputy IC, liaison officer, information and media officer consists of the command staff. The incident commander is the absolute authority as the head of the IRS and directs response activities in the emergency incident. As the jurisdiction and the scale of incident increases, the services of one incident commander prove to be inadequate, and a unified commander is then established to direct the response. The other branch of IRS consists of general staff comprising of the operations section, planning section and logistics section that coordinate and assist the command staff in response activities. The operations section is responsible to carry out the on-field response activities. This section coordinates and manages activities which are directed at reducing the immediate hazard, protecting lives and property, and beginning the process of recovery from emergency phase. Operations section consists of staging area, response branch and transportation branch. First, response branch. This consists of different divisions based on the geographical and functional requirements of the incident. Groups are classified according to their functional characteristics like single resources, strike team or task force. To understand the difference between groups of single resource, strike team and task force, one needs to understand the meaning of resources in the incident response system. Sources are characterized in kind and type in the incident response system. The word kind refers to the equipment, vehicles or personnel such as truck, medical team, ambulance. On the other hand, the word type denotes the capacity for the kind of resources, for example truck, having 1 ton capacity, medical team of 1 doctor and 2 paramedics. Thus, single resource refers to both personnel and their given equipment to be deployed at given point of time at the incident site. For example, fire brigade with its personnel or an ambulance with medical team. A strike team is assemblage of same kind and type of single resources with common communication and one leader. Need of strike team arises to carry out specific type of work requiring specific expertise and resources assembled under one leader. Second, a task force. This is a combination of different kinds and types of single resources under one leader in order to perform number of different tasks requiring different expertise. If a combination of medical team, rescue personnel and fire personnel deployed at site of incident, it will be called a task force. Activation of response branch depends on the nature of response required. Activation of response branch depends upon the nature of response required. Third, transportation branch. This manages the transportation of the affected people and the movement of relief materials. It can be further divided in road, rail, water and air as required. The categorization of planning sections is as follows. The planning section consists of a resource unit, situation unit, documentation unit and demobilization unit under the leadership of planning section chief. This unit supports the response efforts by collecting, evaluating, disseminating and using information about the development of emergency and the status of all available agencies and resources. Role and responsibility of each unit are described below. Resource unit. A. Monitoring the status of all assigned resources at the incident site by conducting check-in of all resources. B. Making of inventory of all resource available. C. Preparation of plan for mobilization of resources if required. D. Maintaining close coordination with incident commander regarding the status of resources received and dispatched from time to time. E. Coordination with operations section regarding status and utilization of allotted resources. F. Ensuring quick and proper deployment of perishable resources. Situation unit. A. Preparation and dissemination of reports regarding situation and resources. B. Development of periodic future projections as incident unfolds. C. Collection, processing and organization of information about incident as soon as possible for analysis. D. Providing authorized maps, photographic services to responders as required. Documentation unit. A. Ensuring the availability of required forms and stationery and issuing it as required. B. Compilation of all information and reports related to incident. C. Review and verification of the records and different IRS forms for accuracy and completeness. D. Ensuring errors and omissions for documents are corrected from appropriate units. E. Archiving documents and files properly for post-incident analysis. Demobilization unit. A. Preparation of incident demobilization plan. B. Identification of surplus resources and giving priority to demobilization of surplus resources. C. Developing incident checkout system for sections, branches, divisions and units in consultation with all sections. D. Planning for logistics and transportation support for incident mobilization in consultation with logistics section. E. Dissemination of incident demobilization plan at suitable times to involved stakeholders. F. Proper supervision and execution of incident demobilization plan. Another important task for planning section is to develop action plan, better known as incident action plan, based on which the total response process is managed. It is necessary to develop IAP. First, involving multiple jurisdictions. Second, involving of different organizations. Third, where consideration to continue the incident response for longer periods exists, where there is a requirement as policy by agencies or departments. An incident action plan or IAP should have the following elements. First, statement of objective. It should illustrate what the IAP expects to achieve. The objectives must be measurable. B. Organization. Describing and assigning which IRS organizations will be in place for response in operational period. C. Operational period. The period of time scheduled for executing given set of tactical actions as specified in the incident action plan. D. Tactics and assignment. Depicting tactics and control operations and what resources will be assigned. E. Supporting plans. This contains material or plans such as map of incident site, communication plan, medical plan, weather data, traffic plan and safety procedures. Lastly, the logistics section is responsible for providing facilities, services and materials including the personnel to operate required equipment for the incident and perform different logistical tasks as required. This includes personnel, animals, vehicles which depends upon acquisition, transport and distribution of resources. Provision of food, water and medical facilities is also the responsibility of logistics section. Finance branch consists of the important component of the logistics section for swift procurement and to maintain sound accounting practices through financial procedures and rules. It is also important for distribution of emergency funds to distribute at local and regional level. Establishment of Incident Command Post (ICP) is necessary to command and coordinate the disaster response and recovery activities through a centralized location. The ICP is a central command center by which all communications and information is gathered, processed and distributed. It is normally established away from the disaster scene or in safe zone of affected area, in proximity to government offices. An incident command post (ICP) should have the adequate lighting, effective communication system and other facilities which will ensure the effective functioning of the incident command post. Figure 5 shows the layout of the typical incident command post or ICP. Developing an incident management system to support Ebola response in Liberia, July-August 2014. The case study illustrates the development of an incident management system to support Ebola response in the country of Liberia. In the year 2014, the worst outbreak of Ebola epidemic in West Africa recorded. Worst affected countries were Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Nigeria and Senegal, with Liberia recording the highest number of Ebola cases. The epidemic severely hampered the public health care infrastructure in Liberia. As a part of response, the Liberian Ministry of Health and Social Welfare developed a national task force and technical expertise committee to observe the management of the Ebola-related activities. To support the epidemic control process, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Atlanta, a unit of US Health and Human Services, started working in tandem with MOHSW in establishing incident management system. The National Response System, earlier established by Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, followed certain principles for Incident Response System or IRS, which had several shortcomings. According to the previous system, the Deputy Health Minister, the Chief Medical Officer, was identified as the national coordinator. Technical committees for epidemiological or surveillance, social mobilization, psychological support, contact tracing and laboratory had been established with Ministry of Health and Social Welfare as the head of this system. Daily meetings were held with the heads of these committees. However, one of the shortcomings of this system was that there was no deputy to the national coordinator to serve as alternative decision maker in absence of the national coordinator. Secondly, the daily meetings of National Task Force had attendance from technical committees and several partner organizations. Due to this, the number of meeting attendees was beyond 50. Taking well-informed decisions based on meetings inputs became a difficult task in such a scenario. Additionally, logistical support such as vehicles, fuel, etc. were largely missing, and there was no single point of contact to provide logistical backbone in the assembled group. To address these shortcomings, the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare appointed an incident manager IM, a deputy IM, an operations chief and a planning chief. The deputy IM convened regular logistics meeting. The deputy IM and all other technical and general staff committees directly reported to the incident manager. Day-to-day meetings were held to discuss the key actions taken in the last 24 hours, actions to be completed in the next 24 hours and challenges faced. Representatives from logistics and finance section were also inducted in the meetings. This resulted in the reduction of logistical problems. Liaising with key partner organizations such as World Health Organization, Doctors Without Borders became easier after the IRS structure was established. Figure 6 represents the incident management system established in Liberia to respond to Ebola. As shown in the figure, an incident manager, that is incident commander, was designated to facilitate the coordination, and different departments were established in the incident response system. In this, response branch can be designated to case management, which was actually mobilized on ground to respond to Ebola. Medical teams and allied support were under the case management branch. Special staff formed logistics and finance branch of the incident response system. Other departments were surveillance, contact tracing and laboratory, which were based on the nature of response required for an epidemic. Limitations of incident response system. Despite being fairly evolved and adopted by many countries, the incident response system has its fair share of critique and limitations. It is argued that emphasis on formal organization and rationality fails to recognize a series of key factors in disaster response, particularly the presence of unorganized volunteers and emergent groups, as well as transformations of the structure and functions of established organizations. Some of the key limitations mentioned in the article are as follows. IRS often results in someone taking charge of the disaster site without using all the mechanisms designated to facilitate site management. Shifting of command from the initial responder to high-level staff often leads to loss of control over the situation. IRS is often found to be weak in the inter-organizational coordination. For instance, in certain cases, separate command posts were established by police and fire organizations, and coordination was even worse with the local emergency management, relief agencies and volunteers. IRS fully implemented in small incidents resulted in over-convergence of emergency resources such as staff and equipment. IRS is not a panacea for involving communications and inter-organizations problems. The command and control model of IRS does not really work in dealing with the civilian organizations. Conclusion. Incident Response System or IRS have 5 major building blocks or basic principles. command planning, operations, logistic and finance administrations. Incident Response System or IRS, also known as Incident Command System or ICS, is very useful when it comes to emergency response management. When nature of incident is minuscule, one person may be able to manage all 5 principles. Large-scale incidents usually require that the components be relegated to their own sections, each of which can be managed separately. Initially developed to eliminate problems associated in response to wildfire, the Incident Response System evolved into an all-risk system supposedly suitable for any type of emergency, including natural hazards, man-made hazards, etc., of nearly any size, from a small fire incident to major events such as cyclone, which involves numerous agencies. IRS helps in bringing several departments or agencies on common platform to achieve quick and effective response. IRS supersedes the different organizational structures, line of authority and communication patterns by boarding all agencies on a common platform through giving them common objective, resource sharing and common language. Thank you.